Hello everyone, this is AJ and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my review for Star Trek PICARD Season 2 Episode 3. Make it so. Yeah, so this episode is entitled Assimilation. Now the episode picks up where episode 2 left off, and the predicament that we found our characters in at the end of that episode is resolved within a couple of minutes. But during this escape, the ship gets fired upon, the Bald Queen topples over, she's lost connection with the ship. But she comes crawling out towards Agnes. Agnes is obviously frightened, but the Bald Queen essentially joins herself up to the ship to get the ship to where it needs to go. She takes control of the ship and she slingshots it around the sun, Star Trek 4 style. The crew of the ship, they end up in 2024, which is before the diversion within the timeline, where the Bald Queen will find herself stronger. On board, when they crash land, Bald Queen diverts all power to herself. This has an impact on the sick bay, and Elnor passes away. Yeah, because he was injured at the end of the last episode, if you so recall. Now, the crew of the ship, specifically Raf, Rios, and 7 of 9, have to go off into the outside world to find this watcher of which the Bald Queen speaks. Someone who can help them out in this time period. So they get beamed out to specific locations. PICARD and Agnes, they stay on board because the Bald Queen is in this sort of down state. She's asleep essentially, so it looks, but they come to realise that she is talking, but she's got no one to talk to because obviously it's in the collective, it's done through faults. So they come up with this bright idea for Agnes to be assimilated by the Bald Queen. PICARD says he can't do it because he'll be overtaken in a second because he was Locutus historically, and for Agnes to do it, it will take a bit of time for the Bald Queen to take her over. Now, when the Bald Queen attempts to take her over, we've got a fantastic scene, a very, very good, strong, powerful scene between Agnes and PICARD. Very well written, very puts you on the edge of your seat. You know, the stuff, you know, as the Bald Queen is slowly assimilating her and her mind flits from being her to the Bald Queen. It's very, very well done, and I really did enjoy that stuff about this episode. Obviously, you've got, while this is going on, you have Raf, Rios, and 7 of 9 out there, and they beam into different areas. 7 of 9 and Raf, they beam into different areas properly, but Rios is found beamed sort of about 10 foot up in the air, and he has a landing on the floor and he injures himself. He suffers with concussion and he's taken into a medical place, sort of medical place that sort of operates off the radar and deals with people who don't want to be contacted by the police or authorities or anyone like that, people with no paperwork, you know, you sort of illegal aliens, so to speak. And he's helped out by a doctor there who he subsequently ends up trying to help, but he gets arrested at the episode's end. All while this is going on, obviously we've had we have 7 of 9 and Raf, get my characters mixed up. 7 of 9 and Raf, they pretend to be partners, shall we say, to get to this high point in this building so they can scan the surrounding area. A great scene again with that, where they're interacting with this security guard. Jerry Ryan is fantastic. And yeah, so the episode basically deals with the arrival of them back in the past and gets you introduced to the world that they've now arrived in, and this sort of thing. Now, it was a very strong episode, a very good episode. I really enjoyed it. Again, the flow for this episode was wonderful. It didn't bore at all, and by the time it got to the end, I was like, oh, is that it? Is that, you know, is it over? Christ, I wanted more, because I was really getting into this. Now, cynically, I will say that Patrick Stewart was set bound for this episode because of his age and the practicality of you know, the physicality of him and practicality of him being out in the real world. But I'm sure we will see some of this sort of thing. But the sort of running around, the action, all that sort of stuff is got, I can see being left to the other characters, which kind of makes sense given that Patrick Stewart is you know, a very decent age, shall we say, like a fine wine. But the acting within this is fantastic. I still can't get over how, you know, after season 1, which I did find considerably boring, that this crew has just melded together. You know, I didn't really like Agnes in the first season at all, but here she was fantastic. These, you know, Rios I didn't particularly like, and here he's really good. You know, these characters have just sort of, I don't know what's happened. I have to check into the writing, this sort of thing, but I think that these characters are more well-rounded than what they were before, what they were previously written. Far more interesting concept for the show than what it had in the first season. Just all in all, it just seems to be pushed up a level more so than what that first season was. And this is some fantastic Star Trek that we're getting with these 3 episodes that we've had so far. This is turning into a fantastic series. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to every week. Now that brings me to Star Trek Discovery, which I have reviewed also, and that review is now up and live, and you can go and check that out. My thoughts on that are different to my thoughts on this. I shan't go into that here, but please go and watch that video if you so wish. That was the finale. Anyway, so I'm getting away. This is AJ. I'll see you next week, because I will be reviewing next week's episode at the same time. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Look after yourself, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you later. Goodbye.